After snow, ice, rocks and gravel, the World Rally Championship reaches its first true asphalt test of the season. Round 8, the Rally Deutschland. With the season at its halfway mark, the Drivers' Championship is one of the closest in history, with just 8 points currently separating the 4 men at the top. Britain's Richard Burns leads. He hasn't won an event so far this season, but 4 podium finishes puts him in front. Just 1 point behind Spain's Carlos Sainz. He was last world champion in 1992, but he's found a new lease of life since signing for Citroën. He won round 3 in Turkey. Reigning world champion Marcus Gronholm has won 3 of the 7 rallies this year, but his normally reliable Peugeot has been plagued by mechanical problems and he's failed to score in the other 4. Norway's Petter Solberg had a slow start to the season, but he's building up momentum as his win in the last round in Cyprus proved. These 4 have all excelled in the snow and gravel rallies, but as the WRC reaches the hard stuff in Deutschland, the asphalt experts will aim to stake their claim. Sebastian Loeb won here for Citroën last year and is favourite to do so again. He's already a winner this season in Monte Carlo, where the asphalt is mixed with ice and snow in the mountains. But can he tame the German roads?
Sure, we want to win, but I know it will be difficult. I think it will be a big fight.
His main challenge could come from Gilles Panizzi, Peugeot's own asphalt expert. Last season he dominated the asphalt rallies, but he missed Deutschland due to a broken collarbone he received in a domestic accident. Still, he's very aware that there are high expectations.
This rally is a tarmac rally and Panizzi must win. Okay, I will try.
With its lower centre of gravity and improved handling, the new Ford Focus is now a real force to be reckoned with on asphalt, and drivers Francois Duval and Marco Martin could make their mark here. Deutschland also sees the debut of the Skoda Fabia. With a shorter wheelbase than its predecessor, the Octavia, it should be more suitable to rallies such as this. Didier Auriol has won on all surfaces in his career. How does he rate the Fabia's chances?
We try to attack when everything works well and see what is the potential of the car today. And after that, it's very interesting because we know the gap we need to improve for the future.
Rally Deutschland takes place in the far west of the country around the historic town of Trier, with stages taking place in the vineyards that line the Mosel Valley and further east in the military ranges at Baumholder. While the stages in the vineyards are smooth asphalt, when the crews reach Baumholder, they will face a variety of surfaces, from new smooth tarmac to broken up concrete, often with a dusting of gravel across the top. Car setup is crucial, especially if it's wet. And watch out for the Hinkelsteins, the large concrete blocks that line the roads to stop tanks leaving the ranges. A number of cars came off second best in collisions with the Hinkelsteins last year. So after 7 rounds, here's a reminder of the standings in the Drivers' Championship. And Sebastian Loeb will be looking to get amongst the leaders here in Germany. The French teams continue to dominate the Manufacturers' Championship, with Peugeot 8 points ahead of Citroën. But there's a battle for third between Ford and Subaru. Rally Deutschland is the only event in the WRC calendar to take place in Central Europe, attracting over 250,000 people who've come to see the top rally drivers in action. It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning, and first out of the starting blocks, championship leader Richard Burns. The Englishman is yet to win a rally this year, but he makes his intentions absolutely clear right from the start in Germany. The Peugeot driver's fast, very fast, as he guides his 206 around the open country roads.
Long, 60, flat right 80, flat left 20.
He sets the quickest time on both of the morning stages, proving why he's championship leader.
Key left minus long, to slow key right,
Let's compare Burns with his teammate Gilles Panizzi, who's on the right. The Frenchman is a tarmac specialist and is expected to do well here. He appears to be quick, but he's off the pace. Maybe it's because he's still struggling with a broken rib he suffered in testing, or perhaps it's because it's his first time in Germany. It's neither. The dirty road surface is the problem. Both he and Marcus Gronholm are struggling to get to grips with the surface. So for Burns, the pressure's not coming from his teammates, but from this man, Colin McRae. The Scot has a point to prove because changes in the sport's regulations mean he's fighting to earn a drive for next season. Teams will only be allowed to have 2 drivers who've been on the podium in the last 3 years. Citroën have re-signed Sebastian Loeb, and that means that one of their other 2 drivers, McRae or Carlos Sainz, will have to go. Loeb claimed his maiden WRC win with the team in Germany last year, and he knows what challenges lie ahead.
Et droite 90 plus Concorde. Droite 90 plus Concorde sur Cauchy. Cauchy sur Prime pour 40 mètres gauche 100. Cauchy sur Prime pour 42 mètres gauche 100, 70 mètres.
Petter Solberg won in Cyprus 4 weeks ago, but 1 month on and the Norwegian is facing the tricky test of tarmac, and he's not feeling too well. It's a small scare for the Norwegian as he spins, but there are other dramas ahead. As Solberg guides his Subaru around the hillsides, pushing hard to make up time.
Bin, into 5 left over Penalty bin, 5 right minus half long into flat short, 6 left open 60, caution line into 6 left minus turn narrow 5, and line into 6 right.
But maybe he's pushing too much.
Too late. Why though? 6 right tightness big cut, 5, 40.
Germany marks the first tarmac event for the new Ford Focus, and already it's looking impressive with Marco Martin chasing the leaders.
4 plus left for long, Christian 4 plus left. 750, 6 minus left, 6 minus right. 130, 6 left. 50, right tightens to 4.
And making its debut is the eagerly awaited Skoda Fabia. Only 15 days of testing have been completed, so this rally is all about development. But already Skoda's baby has teething problems. There's something wrong with the anti-lag system. The throttle won't respond quickly enough for Tony Gardemeister. So after 2 stages, this is how they stand. Championship leader Richard Burns is just 2.5 seconds ahead of his British rival Colin McRae. The Fords of Marco Martin and Francois Duval are going well too. But just look at Gilles Panizzi struggling down in 9th. A disappointing start for him.
Gilles Panizzi, Peugeot's tarmac expert, was one of the favourites here. But on stage 1 he was well beaten by his teammate Richard Burns. Panizzi said he was lacking feeling in his brakes. Just look how Panizzi closes on Burns under braking. The problem is he's braking too late, going way too deep into these hairpin turns and getting on the throttle later. The outcome is clear to see.
Richard, a double stage win, a terrific start.
Perfect start. We've really had no trouble at all. The car was spot on. A little bit slippery in the first stage. Maybe the tyres were a bit cold and we had a few slides near the beginning, but apart from that, it was good.
Gilles, how's your performance been this morning?
The road for the moment for us in our position is bad, very very dirty. And for me, I had some problem with the brake at this time.
Okay, starting up.
Petter, not a brilliant start for you this morning.
No, that's how it is. First stage went okay. Second one not very good. We went straight in junction. I'm not feeling well, so I'm taking some stuff now to see if it helps.
Do you feel that's affected your performance behind the wheel?
Yeah, I am down on power myself. I don't have the last kick.
Solberg still not feeling 100%. On the 15-kilometre Maywald stage, he's still off the pace.
Into turn, unseen, narrow, don't cut short.
And things go from bad to worse. This small mistake drops him down to 12th.
Left, 6 right plus 40.
But the Norwegian isn't the only one to overshoot. It's Carlos Sainz. Here's Nicky Grist to explain why it's so easy to go off the road.
Here's a classic example of a top driver on the limit who slides straight on at a junction. Colin McRae has tried to brake as late as possible to gain a fraction of a second on his rivals. But racing tyres and gravel don't mix. The wheels lose grip and you've seen the result. It's impossible to take the corner. He ends up losing much more time than he could have ever gained.
The new Ford Focus is really fast. The revised suspension is working well for Marco Martin. He's much quicker, and that's because he's benefiting from the extra grip. The Estonian is fastest on the stage and is now chasing rally leader Richard Burns.
130, braking, 6 minus left slow.
And Martin's impressive performance means the gap is just under 2 seconds. Also on the move, Marcus Gronholm, but McRae's mistake drops him to 6th. Next up, Panzer Platter. Here's Nicky Grist to talk us through it.
This stage has a mixture of different road surfaces. There's smooth and rough tarmac, bumpy and abrasive concrete. This test has some very fast sections and the cruise is slowed by using laybys similar to this one. Here you can find gravel and dirt, and on a racing tyre can cause some surprises. Dry conditions is one thing, but if they get caught out by rain on a dry tyre, it's another story. Aquaplaning, slippery surfaces that are always changing, with no grip from the tyre, makes it extremely difficult.
The crowds are out in force for what could be the most crucial stage of the day. Local hero Armin Schwarz has a huge following, but there's not much for his fans to cheer. The Hyundai driver is struggling with turbo problems and is way down the leaderboard. 1994 world champion Didier Auriol is getting to grips with the new Skoda Fabia. The main priority for the team on this event is development, and that means to get to the finish. Fans of Sebastian Loeb have made the journey from nearby Alsace. Loeb. And there's plenty of support too for Gilles Panizzi. The Frenchman is back on the pace and back in the fight. So too is Loeb. As he hurtles around the Baumholder military region, he's blisteringly quick and moves up to 4th.
Droite 80 millions encore d'oreille, 80 mètres, attention. Droite gauche 120 moins 3. Attention, droite gauche 120 moins 3, 200 mètres, droite à fond plus.
World champion Marcus Gronholm has never won on tarmac, but he's on the move in Germany. The Finn claims 3rd overall. Richard Burns has made a great start to this event, but it's all about to change. The bad vibration caused by a puncture on the previous stage is affecting his performance.
Go 100, right max, long, 100.
Marco Martin's looking dangerous and chasing Burns down. The Estonian needs to beat the Englishman by 1.8 seconds, so watch the clock.
100, flat left, flat right, 80, crest 5 minus right, 20, 6 left opens, into 6 right.
He does it easily. Martin's the new rally leader.
Clear stage.
This is the first time in a long time that Ford have led on tarmac, and they're not going to want to let it go. Marcus Gronholm's looking dangerous in 3rd, while Gilles Panizzi's back in the frame.
I had a good feeling that our new car is good on tarmac, and now we managed to prove that it's quite good, yes. And if we can get everything right, we should be able to fight with everybody.
We were expecting the car to be competitive. It is, so yeah, it's good for everybody, for Marco, for the team. Everybody worked really hard for that, so that's fantastic.
Tony, 4 stages completed now. What's your verdict on the car?
I start to feel better and better for sure on the car and like this, and Last stages was quite okay. For sure, there was a bit slippy, but there was more fast and like this, and they show it much better for the car for me.
What have you learned today about the Fabia?
Yeah, we have learned that there's still some work to do, but at least the car shows the potential, and Tony's car is running without problems so far.
Trier, the headquarters for Rally Deutschland, is the oldest city in Germany. Founded by the Romans around 18 BC, it's home to one of the best collections of Roman architecture outside of Italy. It can also lay claim to being the birthplace of Karl Marx. It's at the heart of the Mosel wine-producing region, so you'll never be far away from a vineyard. This is Marco Martin's 50th World Rally, and he would love to win it. The Estonian is delighted with the performance of the Focus on tarmac, but just when you least expect it, problems occur. He's lost the use of his top 2 gears and he's losing a lot of time. He's changing over to the manual gear change from the hydraulic system, which means disconnecting the handbrake and using the lever as a gear stick. It's a tricky manoeuvre when you're under pressure. Time's ticking away and the car is stopped. The fault cannot be fixed until he heads back to service, and there's another stage to tackle after this one. That's bad news for the Estonian, just when it was looking so good. Just look at the frustration on Martin's face. Now he's disconnected the handbrake at this tight hairpin junction. He cannot spin the car around in one turn. Yet again, more time lost.
100, 6 minus right.
Marco, you've obviously had problems. What are they?
They only have first 4 gears. Don't have 5th and 6th, so we had to stop to get it to manual, and there was a tight hairpin. We could not turn around as well, so we lost a lot of time.
Subaru's Tommy Mäkinen has also got problems. He needs a good result to boost his hopes for a contract next year, but it all appears to have gone horribly wrong. He's suffering with alternator problems and retires at the end of the stage. Following the demise of Marco Martin, it's Richard Burns who reclaims the rally lead. The Briton is in control despite this small scare on stage 6. But he better watch out. As Sebastian Loeb is on his tail, the Frenchman loves this surface and he goes quickest on stage 6. Just behind him is Marcus Gronholm. The Finn has got into his groove and is chasing down Loeb for that second position. So Richard Burns leads by nearly 8 seconds ahead of Loeb, but he'll have to watch out as Gronholm is just 1 second behind him. But Marco Martin's gearbox problems mean he's dropped down to a dismal 10th. Back at service, the concern over Martin's car is obvious. But things are a bit more upbeat in the Citroën camp.
Last year it was very close with Richard, and this year, for the moment, it's the same. It's very difficult to find a second somewhere, and we have to push very much.
I think generally it's been really, really good. We've had a little bit of a problem with one of the front tyres, something that you can't do anything about. But the rest of the stages, really, we've had good, clean runs, and I've been pushing hard.
On stage 7, the 6.65 kilometre super special stage, Marcus Gronholm grabbed his opportunity to take second place from Sebastian Loeb. So at the end of day 1, just over 10 seconds separates the top 3. Burns leads from Gronholm, with Loeb now in 3rd. Is made up of 9 tough stages. Can Richard Burns hold off the charging Marcus Gronholm? Also in part 2, Formula 1 driver Giancarlo Fisichella gets behind the wheel of Marco Martin's Ford Focus. Welcome back to Rally Deutschland, brought to you via Immosat. Day 1 saw a slow start for the acknowledged asphalt experts Sebastian Loeb and Gilles Panizzi. Showing them the way was Richard Burns, winner of the first 2 stages. His main challenge came from Marco Martin, who took over as leader on stage 4. But his lead was short-lived. Loss of 5th and 6th gear saw him lose over a minute to Burns. And watch out for Marcus Gronholm, the reigning world champion, hasn't put a foot wrong and ended the day in second, just over 9 seconds down on Burns. There's been some overnight rain and crews are greeted by a very cold and misty morning. That means they face mixed conditions. The tarmac roads are damp, so correct tyre choice is going to be crucial. This is Francois Duval's first outing in Germany driving a Focus, but these stages are similar to the roads in his native Belgium. He's chosen the right tyres and reaps the rewards. Duval moves up to 4th. But his former teammate Colin McRae is troubled.
It's a bit humid just now and drying out, so it makes it very difficult to make the right tyre choice.
What have you gone for on the first stage?
A slick, but it doesn't feel brilliant.
And the 1995 world champion has reason to be concerned because his hunch proves right. The Scot is slipping and sliding all over the place.
Slow 4 left over crest tightens. Slow 4 left over crest tightens, 70.
His Citroën teammate Carlos Sainz is happier with his tyre choice, but he still has an eventful start to day 2. Proving that even the most experienced of drivers can get it wrong. The rain's holding off on the first 2 stages of the day, and Sebastian Loeb goes quickly to keep 3rd place. But there's a battle brewing for the top spot. World champion Marcus Gronholm has got teammate and rally leader Richard Burns in his sights. The morning's damp, slippery conditions seem to suit the Finn down to the ground. And Burns is nowhere near as quick. He goes into stage 9 just 7/10 of a second in front of Gronholm.
200. Crest 20, easy left plus 50. Flat right.
Burns is slower, he's lost the rally lead. So the 2 Peugeots swap positions, then come the Citroëns of Sebastian Loeb and Colin McRae. The Scot made up some time in the last stage to move ahead of Francois Duval by just 0.3 of a second.
Our virtual spectator shows you the problem Colin McRae was up against in stage 8. Duval was flying in here and had the correct tyre choice. The Scots teammate Sainz was also on the same tyre option. But McRae chose the harder rubber compound. This gave him less grip under braking and steering. You can see how much time he has lost here in only 700 metres of this stage. In all, he lost nearly 22 seconds to the young Belgian.
Back at service, there are big discussions regarding tyres as the forecast is rain.
The weather is always the problem here. It's raining and not raining. I don't know with the tyre choices if they are correct, but I hope.
Richard, you've lost the lead. What was the problem?
Not really a big problem, just wasn't really confident enough, I think mainly in the braking areas in those first 2 stages, the first one especially.
Can you get the lead back?
I'm going to have a go now.
First on the road on stage 10 is the fans' favourite Armin Schwarz. Fortunately it stays dry and so there are no problems for the German or for any of the drivers in the field. On the next stage, it's not rain that causes problems for Marco Martin, but pace notes. Marco's advanced crew has taken out a crucial bit of information.
3 plus time. I did just say that. They took it off. 150 crest. Henrik took it off.
And now the rain starts to fall. Tony Gardemeister is aiming to finish this event for the development of the brand new Skoda Fabia, but he breaks a drive shaft and smoke from his tyres is getting into the car. Jani Parsonen had a massive crash in the wet. The Finn is hoping to secure a drive with Mitsubishi when they return to the championship next year. His co-driver Arto Kapanen was taken to hospital with broken ribs and a broken shoulder. Petter Solberg wasn't feeling well on day one, but he's had a good night's sleep and the Norwegian's pushing to the limit.
100, small jump, 60.
But he's trying just a little too hard. He damages the rear wheel and loses time. Gilles Panizzi fancied his chances of a victory here, but he's had all kinds of problems. The tarmac expert is still struggling with the brakes on his Peugeot 206. Frustrating times for the Frenchman, who's unable to match the pace of his rivals around these classic BAM holder stages. Sebastian Loeb sends out a warning. He's very quick and has his eye on the rally lead. So Marcus Gronholm had better watch out, but the world champion has never won on tarmac and he's going to protect his position. Richard Burns has already lost the lead and now he's under pressure from Loeb for second place. But on such an unforgiving event, any mistake is going to prove costly. As Burns discovers, the seconds are ticking away.
60, left max over long crest, 40, left max 70.
Just 4.5 seconds separated Burns from Loeb going into stage 11, so watch Burns' time on your right.
100. Flat right, long.
Burns is nowhere near fast enough. The one-time rally leaders dropped to third. So Marcus Gronholm still leads, but it's now Loeb who's chasing the world champion. Despite his problems, the new suspension on the Ford has given Marco Martin the pace to move up to fifth.
Richard, you're heading the wrong way down the leaderboard. What's the problem?
I just made a couple of schoolboy errors in that last stage. I overshot one junction when it was starting to rain, and I also went the wrong way at a split junction.
I did just say that. They took it off. 150 crest.
Yeah, it was handbags at dawn, really. It was one part of the stage where we were actually cutting completely off the road behind the Hinkelsteins, and the gravel crew, when they went through, thought that it wasn't on, so they took it off. When we got there, Marco recognised the place and still cut the corner anyway, then had to go at me for not reading the cut. So I had to go back saying it's not my fault, the bloody gravel crew took it off, tried to blame it onto them. So it was dissolved after about 30 seconds of arguing.
Marco Martin and Formula One Giancarlo Fisichella, two of the hottest properties in the world of motorsport. Giancarlo was eager to get behind the wheel of a WRC car and Marco obliged. But first Marco shows him around. Now it was time for Giancarlo to see how the Focus compared to his Formula One Jordan.
He really found the limit in one place in one braking, but luckily there's plenty of space here to recover, so it was no problem. But now I could tell that it wasn't his first time to try a rally car.
Car is fantastic. There is a very good grip. There is a fantastic power as soon as you touch the throttle, and it was very funny. I really enjoyed that.
Tony Gardemeister still in trouble. In the second run through Erzweiler, he's going very slowly indeed. Although he makes it into the next stage, the Finn has no choice but to retire. On day one, Marco Martin plummeted down the leaderboard when he suffered with gearbox problems. Day two, he's fighting back and setting some blisteringly quick times. Let's ride on board with him, and on the bottom of the screen follow his telemetry. Here you can see his gear changes, braking points and top speeds. Who would have thought he'd be challenging for a podium place?
200.
That's because he's breathing down the neck of Colin McRae. The Scot may not have a drive for next year, and he knows he needs a good performance in Germany. And it seems to be going well so far. He's looking dangerous.
200. West over crest tightens to 5+, and the west over crest tightens to 4+, and turn slow 3 left.
Richard Burns must be feeling the pressure. The Englishman started the day as rally leader, but he's now fighting to keep third. He can't afford to make any mistakes as Martin and McRae are quick and perilously close behind. Second place Sebastian Loeb has Marcus Gronholm in his sights. Going into stage 13, just 6 seconds separate the two drivers. And once again, Loeb is very fast. But Gronholm is going to fight all the way to the finish. But is the Finn fast enough? Watch the clock. It's not enough. Loeb is 8 seconds quicker. So Gronholm has to settle for second, but this battle is far from over. And just look at the fight for third. Just 1.7 seconds separate Burns, McRae and Martin for that final podium place.
Sebastian, third leader of the day, and it's you. You must be happy.
Yes, sure, but it's only 1 second, so it's very, very close. And you have to continue like this, not to make a mistake in the choice, not to make a mistake on the road, because it's a lot of mud and it's very difficult conditions.
There's been a bit of a gamble with regard to tyre choice for Marco Martin. Just explain it for us.
I think the whole day's been a bit of a gamble in one sense, because you've got changing conditions, no fixed pattern as to the weather. But obviously we've elected to run a slick tyre on the next 2 stages, and hopefully you might not get both stages right. So basically it's a bit of a balancing act to try and find out where the weather's going to be. So we'll just have to really see what the outcome is.
In service, the tyre choice was extremely difficult. Marco Martin chooses slicks, and as he heads into stage 14, the heavens open. His tyres give him no grip in the wet, and he pays the price.
80, 6 minus right in, 150, 6 right slow in.
Marco, you're on slicks. Was that the right choice?
No, it wasn't. It was difficult to drive.
Colin McRae and the rest of the drivers in front of him have chosen intermediate tyres for these wet conditions, and it's the right decision. McRae moves up to third. But Martin's pessimism might be a little premature. The Estonian blasts through stage 15 to set the quickest time and claim third place. Rally leader Sebastian Loeb is flying. The Frenchman increases his lead to over 7 seconds ahead of Marcus Gronholm. But Gronholm wants maximum points and his first tarmac win, so he won't give up without a fight. Away from the championship battle, the day ended on a high for privateer Roman Cresta, who showed the big boys how it's done in St. Vendel and took his first WRC stage win. So at the end of day 2, Martin's done a remarkable job to break the French team's domination of Rally Deutschland. But a win for either Citroën or Peugeot looks likely, with Loeb and Gronholm going head-to-head on the final day. Outside the top 8, it's been a tough rally for Petter Solberg. Rally Deutschland has already seen 4 changes of leader, and Marcus Gronholm will be doing everything to get past Sebastian Loeb on day 3. And the irrepressible Marco Martin will be looking to have a say in proceedings. Will these 3 be in the running for the Inmarsat Star of the Rally? Find out who wins in part 3. Surfaces are always unpredictable, and with rain on day 2, they were even more so. Tyre choice was a lottery, staying on the road a finely balanced procedure. But 2 drivers fought through the elements and will battle it out for victory on day 3. Sebastian Loeb leads, Marcus Gronholm is second. Just 5.5 seconds separate them.
It will be a big fight, that's sure. 5 seconds is nothing for a long day like this, so we try to keep this position, but it will not be easy.
You're just 5.5 seconds down on Sebastian Loeb this morning. You must be able to catch him with your experience.
No, but it's not easy. It will be difficult.
The fans had come out in force to see the outcome of Rally Deutschland. Out of the starting blocks and ready to do battle, Marcus Gronholm. The Finn desperately wants his first win on tarmac. Loeb learned his trade on the tarmac rallies of the French Championship and has always looked comfortable here. Gronholm grew up on gravel, but here on tarmac he needs to adopt a different driving style altogether, braking later and straight-line driving through the corners to carry greater speed. The Finn is pushing hard. But he makes a mistake and hits a rock, damaging his steering. Loeb started this stage with a 5.5 second cushion, so let's see how much of an advantage he has after Gronholm's incident. The gap has more than doubled. Loeb extends his lead to the delight of the Citroën team. Meanwhile, Gronholm's got to make some repairs between stages.
This is the damage. Yeah.
Richard Burns is pushing to the limit to extend his championship lead. But on stage 17, he overshoots at exactly the same place as Gronholm. Stage 18, and there's more bad luck for Marco Martin. The front differential is broken and he has to complete the stage with rear-wheel drive only. The car is now handling very badly.
5 left, tightness minus, here. Something's wrong with the disc, isn't it? 30.
He goes as fast as he can, but he drops below Colin McRae on the leaderboard, and now he's only 2 seconds ahead of Richard Burns.
2 plus left.
Marco, do you have a problem?
Yeah, something broken in the transmission. We have only 2-wheel drive.
Huge question marks remain regarding the new car's reliability. But there are no such problems for Colin McRae. He was simply stunning on the final morning and set the fastest time on 2 stages in a row. Loeb has increased his lead to 15 seconds. McRae's moved above Martin into 3rd, while teammate Carlos Sainz is down in 7th.
We have moved away from the vineyard region. This stage is mostly fast on narrow country lanes, with a lot of slippery cuts. There's a maze of roads looping back on themselves just before the finish. That makes it very interesting. There's still a lot to fight for between the top 5, and as these leading drivers approach this stage, there are some horrible black clouds in the sky. They're all on racing slicks and they are praying it stays dry.
Richard Burns appears to be benefiting from his road position. Rain is forecast and he needs to get through the stage on his slicks before the heavens open.
Slight left, then it's okay, 150, fast right plus okay, to slight left.
Marco Martin's trying to handle the Focus with just rear-wheel drive, and conditions are made even more difficult when it starts to rain. Colin McRae's had a great start to the final day, but the roads are getting more slippery by the minute. Once again on this rally, the changeable weather conditions make tyre choice a lottery.
Right time to 270.
At the end of day 2, Marcus Gronholm claimed he could win the rally if it rained on the final day, and it looks like his prayers have been answered. But he's still got to beat this man, Sebastian Loeb. But the Frenchman is starting to struggle in the wet. The gap is reduced to 9 seconds and Gronholm's right back in contention. With the benefit of a dry run, Burns is now ahead of McRae and Martin. Petter Solberg is now in the points after overhauling Gilles Panizzi.
Sebastian, Marcus Gronholm has shown it's easy to make mistakes today.
Sure, and we were close to make some mistakes in the last one because it was wet for us, it was raining, and at the starting line, Marcus, when he started, it was dry, and when I started 2 minutes behind him, it was wet, but now we are leading with 9 seconds, 0.6. That's not enough to slow down, and we have to continue.
You said last night, if it was raining today, you could win. Can you win?
Still it's possible, but I lost too much maybe on the first one when I did a mistake, so I'm not sure.
Tyre choice for the last 3 stages?
It will be wet tyres, but it will be raining, I think.
Peugeot hide their choice of tyres from spying eyes. Everyone at Ford is working flat out, including the team boss. Despite everybody's efforts, Martin picks up a time penalty for leaving service 2 minutes late. Anyone would feel despondent after what Martin has suffered on this rally. But it's a remarkable comeback. The Estonian doesn't give up, and despite the frustrations of the day, sets the quickest time on the next 2 stages. His teammate Francois Duval is going well too. Until a stall on stage 21 loses the Belgian crucial seconds. That lets in double world champion Carlos Sainz. The Spaniard moves up to 6th place. If he can hold that, he'll gain an extra championship point. Colin McRae's pushing hard, but perhaps a little too hard.
Right, opens over crest, narrows, gravel rut into 6 left, and right, tight to 5 line is cut. The right time to 5 line is cut, gravel ruts into 5 left plus line and 6 right.
If we look at it again, it was a big impact, and he's fortunate to get away with it. But it looks as if it's going to cost him a podium finish.
Is it okay? Yeah. Nothing bent or anything?
No. Lucky?
Very lucky.
On day 1, Richard Burns led the rally, but he started the final day down in 5th and trying to fight his way back up the leaderboard. Marcus Gronholm is still in the fight for the lead, but he's running out of stages and he's not happy with the conditions.
Marcus, what's the problem?
Slippery.
The tyres are looking very worn out now.
Yes, really. Because we have to do one more.
Sebastian Loeb is close to victory, but he knows that Gronholm will push all the way.
Moins des verts, vous prenez Gérald sur gauche 90, moins Milon. Sur gauche 90, moins Milon, 100 mètres, 340, moins Milon rail.
So the gap between Loeb and Gronholm is now 13 seconds. Burns is ahead of McRae, but the Scot is only 7 seconds behind, and he'll be fighting all the way to the finish. But despite his efforts, McRae finishes fourth. Still a great performance from the 1995 world champion. Richard Burns is still aiming for that first win with Peugeot, but another podium finish for the British driver means he extends his championship lead.
Slippy inside 100, flat left 10, easy right. Richard finished the stage.
But Burns is beaten by teammate Marcus Gronholm yet again. The Finn completes the rally as the leading Peugeot. Loeb hasn't got victory in the bag just yet. It's going to be a nerve-wracking drive to the finish as his team let him know he's only 3 seconds ahead with half of the stage still to go. Gronholm wants his first tarmac rally win and he's not going to give up without a fight. He sets a tough target for Loeb to beat.
8 ja vasen hidas risteys mutaa. Tässä on mutaa. Maali. Oi vittu. Stage is clear for Marcus.
So let's watch Loeb to the end to see if he can claim victory on the slippery surface. Loeb has to beat 10:45.7 to win.
Pas corde, 130 mètres, gauche 130 plus léger rail. Gauche 130 plus léger rail sur 340 de moins long. 340 moins long sur gauche à fond et gauche 130 bon pas corde. Gauche 130 bon pas corde sur droite 130 plus. Droite 130 plus.
He's done it. He's slower than Gronholm on the stage, but it doesn't matter. He's successfully defended his German title.
Marcus was very fast in the last. I think he will slow down a little bit, but of course I had a medium point in the stage where I know I'm a lot behind him and I pushed to the end. Only 3 seconds, I think, difference between him and me.
Loeb's relief is plain to see. In the end, just 3.6 seconds separated him from Marcus Gronholm. Further down the leaderboard, it's a disappointing 10th place for Gilles Panizzi.
What a hard win. It was very difficult. We had to fight since the beginning of the race, and now we won. It's okay, but it was very difficult. It's always a pleasure to win here because I have a lot of fans. It's the rally which is the most near from my home, and to win here, I have all my fans here, and that's very nice.
Marcus, second overall is a great result, but when are you going to win that first asphalt rally?
How can I know that? Now it was close, but maybe the mistake in the morning cost us the win, but okay, we will see in the end of the year when we have these 3 rallies on the asphalt if I can do it.
Richard, still leading the championship, but this one's been a tough one for you.
It was really difficult, especially today. When it's been raining on and off, we've been on the right tyres, the wrong tyres, and a lot of mud on the road as well today. So been quite tricky, quite fun, and nice to finish in a good position.
A podium place means that Richard Burns still leads the championship, while Carlos Sainz remains in second position. Maximum points for Sebastian Loeb means he moves up to 4th. Peugeot retain their lead in the Manufacturers' Championship, but Citroën have closed the gap. Marco Martin was quickest on 10 of the event's 22 stages, and his drive to come back from 10th to 3rd on day 2 was inspired. That's why he's Nicky Grissim, our sat star of the rally in Germany. And Martin gives the award to the unsung heroes of the event, his gravel and tyre crews. In 2 weeks' time, the World Rally Championship heads to Finland, and expect the Scandinavians to dominate what is a classic in the calendar. But here in Germany, the celebrations are well and truly underway for Sebastian Loeb and Citroën. Rally Deutschland has been a thriller, with Loeb the king on tarmac. We'll see you next time, but if you can't wait until then, catch all the news on WRC.com.